there, thanks for stopping by my channel to color and put our card together. Today we're going to be working on this adorable Whimsy Stamps image called Christmas Elf. It's a little shaker card. This is a card kit, so I'll go ahead and put a link to this down in the description box in case you would like to pick it up. So we're going to color our image first, and then we will go ahead and put the image together, or the whole thing together at the end, in case you'd like to skip to that and see what that is all about. So I've already stamped my image on some Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock, so let's color. Alright, for our skin today, we're going to use V20, E11, E21, E00, E000, and for the cheeks, we're going to use R20 and R30. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my V20 first, and I'm going to give it a little bit of shadow right around the edge where his hand is touching his other hand. And you could make him wear mittens too. I just chose to give him some skin colored on there instead of using the mittens. But you could give him mittens. He would look super cute with some mittens. Okay, so I'm going to give a little bit of shadow here in the curve of his ear. And then we're going to grab E11 next. And for that, we're going to go right over the top of that V20. And then I'm going to brush up a little bit from the bottom of his hand. And then we'll do the inside of his ear. Inside this one. And then I'm going to bring this curve down around to where his collar is. Same on this side. And then for his nose, I'm going to give it a little bit of color here along the bottom. Next we'll do E21. So I tend to touch down on top of my last color, so I'm going to brush right over the top of my E11. And then for his ear, let's go ahead and do right next to his head. And then we'll bring it up here, and maybe just to the little end of the line on his ear so that it hits, we can put a little bit of a lighter color there at the top. And then for his face, we want to go around the outside, so I'm going to continue my line here. We'll do a little bit on his nose. And then we're over here where I had my E11, I'm going to go ahead and brush this out. I'm touching down on top of my E11, and I'm flicking out away from that edge. All the way around. And then we'll add some E00 next. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in his hand, so I'm going to go ahead and go right over the top of the entire thing. And then we'll cover his ears. And then for his face, touch down on top of your E21. And we're going to brush out here towards his eye. And don't worry if there's still a line, because we're going to do his cheeks, and then we're going to come back. I'm going to fill in his nose. And then we'll fill in the rest of his face with our E000. So I touch down on top of my E00, and I swipe across. And again, don't worry about all these lines, because we're going to come back again. Now we want to add some cheek color, so let's do R20 first. And for our cheeks, I'm going to go just a little bit out on the outside of his eye here, and I'm just going to make a couple of little circles. And then we'll grab R30 next. And for that, I'm going to go around the edge of that R20. And I may pink those up a little bit more. I haven't decided yet. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my E00. And I'm going to flick out here from this side. We're going to bring that over the top of his cheek. And up here on his forehead, we're going to come down into our white space, or our lightest area. our way around the corner, over that cheek again. And then we'll take our E000, and I tend to go over the entire face. So I'm just going to wipe straight across. And look at how those cheeks have faded out. So I'm going to come back with my R20. R30. And I think I'm going to darken up his nose just a little bit. So let's grab E11. I want it to stand out a little bit more. And then our E00. Let's do his hair next. For that, we're going to use E53 and E51. So I'm going to do E53 first, and he doesn't have much there. So I'm going to go, he's got this little patch right here that looks like it kind of tucks underneath of his hair, right there above his ear, same over here. So I'm going to give that a little bit of color. And then up here under his hat, I'm just going to flick away from that hat a little bit. Kind of vary my lines. They go, some are shorter, some are longer. And then we'll do the same thing with our 51. I'm going to just fill in this area down here. So we're just going to put in a few little streaks. And if you have some white space, that's fine too. And I'm going to go back with my 53 again and just put a little bit of this back in. And I may go over this little section that looks like it's tucked underneath of his ear a little bit more. Let's do that little ornament next. For that, we're going to use BG45, BG53, B00, and then for the little top, we're going to use Y28. So I'm going to go ahead and do the little top first. Why wait? And that's all done. Then we're going to go with BG45. So for my BG45, I'm going to go right around the outside. So let's go over here. And then let's go around this way. Okay, and then I want this side to have a little bit more dark on it. So I'm going to bring this up at an angle so it looks like a half or a quarter moon. And I'm going to do these colors twice. Okay, and then we're going to do BG53 next. So I'm going to go ahead and go around my circle again. So I want to go right on the edge of that BG 45 and extend it out a little bit. And then over here, we're going to again bring this up. So now we've got like a half moon. And then we're going to do B00. Okay, so for my B00, I'm not going to do this side, but I want to create a line right here. So I have white, so I'm going to go along right, hit this, and make me a stopping point. And then we're going to fill in this section with this. Okay, then I'm going to give it our second coat. So grab your BG45. And I made that a half moon this time. And then we'll do BG53. And this side of my little white streak is kind of bumpy, so I'm going to try to smooth it out so that it's more of a sliver than a giant crevice. Bring this up. And then we'll go with our B00. And then for this, I'm going to go from the bottom down here. I'm going to swipe up the edge of that line. And then I'm going to do a little dab on the back side too, just to smooth it all out. And then you've got a nice little reflection there on the top of your little ornament. Let's go ahead and give him an outline now. So we're going to do C1, C00, and our color of splendor. And you could have done this at first, but I just completely forgot. So we're going to go ahead and do it now. So I'm going to start with C1, and I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to start down here at the bottom of his shoe. And I'm going to go all the way around. And you can make your line as thick or as skinny as you want. And this way, if you do this before you do anything else, we won't have to worry about if we get some on them, because it'd be easier to take her to Color the Splendor and erase it. And this will make your little guy too pop a little bit inside of the shaker window. Now we'll work our way down to the other side. And back around to his foot. Then we're going to go over that line with our C00. So same thing, we're just going to go right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay it down right over the top of that C1. And I'm going to go all the way around outside, making sure that my line extends past the C1. I want to go to the edge, or past that edge. And back down to the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Color of Splendor, and I'm just going to wipe from the body here. I'm going to wipe over both those colors, except for right here where this ball is, because we don't want to touch that and move our color. I'm just going to keep it onto my gray, but over here it doesn't matter. I just want to, same with his face, let's go right next to this gray and swipe out past my C1 or my C00, and that will kind of smush all those colors together. I should have done this first, and then I didn't have to worry about touching any of this stuff like right here. You could just put your marker right on top of him like I'm doing here and just flick out past all of that. So this step is definitely easier to do first, and I should have done it first. And that gives him a little bit of a gray outline there. Next, we are going to do green. So let's do YG 17, 25, 23, and 03. So we're going to start with our YG 17, and let's go ahead and start up here on these little puff balls on his hat. And then we'll add 25. 23. And then we'll go over those 3 with our 03 and fill it the rest of the way in. Let's start with our 17 again. So I'm going to go down here and let's do these little balls on his shoe. This little outfit. And then we'll add 25. $23. And then I'll swirl over all of those with my 03. Now let's do his little cuffs on his outfit. I think I'll do his collar too. So let's go ahead and start up here. Go under his chin and around. And then we'll do 25 next. $23. And then we're going to fill it in with our YG03. So when I fill it in, I like to, again, go over the top of the entire thing. So here I filled in his collar up here, but then I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to swipe over this middle section. Blend it all together. And we're going to go down here and we're going to do his socks. So let's grab YG17 and let's do, let me see, let's do this little stripe right here. And I'm just going to fill that in because it's pretty tiny. And then same for this side. Here's another one over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the next one red and then gray. And then this one is going to be green. And he's going to have this little one right here that's going to end up being green. And that one little section there, I'm just going to put the rest with my YG25. I'm just going to fill that in. You could just go ahead and use the whole YG17. That would be fine too. Let's go ahead and do the gray stripes too. I should have done these when I had these out for the outline. But here we'll use C1 and C00. So we're going to do C1, and it's going to be the stripe that's next to the green one. So let's go right here. And then this one, whoops. No, it was supposed to be this one. That's okay. Just leave that like that because we're going to make that red, so it won't matter. So it's going to be these two. That was my fault. It's green, red, gray. Okay, so not this one, so it's going to be the one underneath of the green that you're going to brush a little bit of our C00 on. And I didn't go all the way to the end, I left the end kind of white. Just to give it a little something. Okay, so let's do our reds next. So for our red, we're going to use R89, 39, 37, 24, and 14. So let's go ahead and do these socks first. So let's do R89. And so remember, it's the one that was above the, yes, above the green? Yes, above the green. And see how it just covered up that gray that I messed up on right away? Because it's really dark. And then 39. And then we'll fill it in with 37. Next, let's do his shoes. So, I think we should do his hat next. Let's do his hat next. So for the hat, let's start with R89, and we're going to come up here and we're going to go right on this, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a wrinkle right here. And then we're going to do the bottom of this one, and the bottom of this one. And then over here, we're going to bring this down the side of his hat. And then on this side, we're going to go down the side of this hat. Right here. But I also want to give this side a couple of wrinkles. So let's go with, I'm going to brush this out a little bit too. So let's brush this out. And let's give him a little wrinkle right here. And how about right here? Let's add a little bit of interest to his hat. Next, we're going to do R39. So we want to touch down on top of our 89 and brush up, away. I'm covering up all of those lines. For this one, we're going to extend that wrinkle, bring this one out. Bring this one down a little bit more. And then we'll add 37. And I tend to brush over the last two colors. The red's pretty dark, so for me it takes a couple of swipes. And then we'll add R24. The same thing, I still start down here and I bring it past all of the previous colors and bring it up into my white. And then we'll finish up with our R14. So after I get it all colored in, I tend to take my lightest color and come back and swipe over the entire hat. Just swipe back and forth. If you wanted it darker, you could also give it a second coat. Alright, let's head down here and we'll do his arms or his little outfit. I'm going to go ahead and go with a line in here. Add some color along the bottom of his sleeve. And then his arms are hanging on his body, so I'm going to come down underneath of that sleeve. Here, under his arm or his hand. And then on this side. And then we're going to add R39. So you want to touch down on top of your 89 and brush away a little bit. So I'm going to go over the top of his little sleeve right here. Down here we'll brush down this little outfit, and I'm going to go underneath of his sleeve here. I'm going to be careful going over the top of my ornament. You don't want to touch that. And then we'll add 37. I'm going to fill in his arms up here at the top. I'm going to fill in this too. It's not going to be as light in here because he's got this little collar thing on his shirt. I'll brush down here. Careful going around your ornament. And we'll add 24. So even though I colored in here, I'm going to go ahead and go over this. Add a little bit of this red over the top, and that will help smooth out those lines too. Down here we'll brush from the top. Do that one little corner in because it was kind of hard to, there wasn't hardly any left. And then we'll do our R14 to fill in this white. And again, I like to swipe over the rest of the outfit. So down here on the bottom, I'm going to swipe from the top down. And again, if you wanted it darker, you could give him a second coat. And then we're going to do his shoes, so R89. So I'm going to go along the inside of his shoe here and then up and around to the bottom over here, kind of where it starts to swoop up. And then I'm going to give right next to this little pom-pom a little bit of color. Same for this side, a little bit for the pom-pom, And then over here where it starts to swoop up, I'm going to come down along the bottom and along the inside. And we'll add 39. Add a little bit up here. .37's next. .24. And then we'll go over the entire shoe with our 14. Next, we're going to use this Wink of Stella clear brush pen to add some sparkles to my ornament. So I'm just going to swipe this over. I like to give it a couple coats. Really sparkle it up. And then I'm going to take my Sharpie white paint pen. You shake it up. And I'm going to give him some dots on his cheek. Give him 3 little dots on his cheek. And then I wanted to do something so his clothes weren't so plain. So I'm going to go ahead and add some little hearts. So I just did like a little V. And then I also did some like little lines. So I did like a little X. And then I gave each little X a little dot of color in the corner. So this is totally up to you if you want to add this stuff on there. I just thought his outfit looked a little plain. So I wanted to decorate it up a little bit. You can give him some upside down hearts. And they don't have to be straight. Some different kind of hearts up there. I think I'm going to shake my pen up again. Got to make sure the paint's really mixed up in there. It doesn't seem like it turns out white. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some. I went ahead and added some to his outfit too. That seems a little bit whiter. Just like that. I just gave him a few little decorations on his outfit to make him stand out a little better. I didn't bother with his shoes because they're going to be pretty much covered up by all the shaker stuff. So I just left them plain. So Okay, so let's go ahead and put our card together. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting my little, what is this called? Peppermint Patty paper on first, the blue one. And I always make sure that my card is opening the way I want to begin with. Otherwise, I tend to put things on upside down or sideways, or it doesn't open the way I want. So I just kind of make sure to begin with that there is nothing there to, it's going the right direction. Okay, then let's go ahead and do this little pink piece. Or if you prefer, you could do stripes. And this one's kind of cattywampus and sitting like this. Then we're going to do the green one. Or if you prefer, you can do the stripes. Or the plaid. I guess it's kind of a plaid kind of thing there. And this one is like this. Okay, then we got this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach our piece of acetate to the back of this. It's very sticky. And I went ahead and did it on the front of the card, so in case I get some on there, I'm going to cover it up with my my stuff here so it won't matter. Okay, then I'm going to put this on here. Like that. And then if you want, you can kind of go along the edges. My tape runner is a little bit larger, so it kind of stuck off the edge a little bit. So I'm just going to wipe along the edge a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get some tape, some foam tape. So if you don't have, if you're going to make shaker cards, I highly recommend you just getting this roll of foam tape stuff, because you can cut it off. It's just way better than the little pop dot things. And I went ahead and I cut a big piece off and then I trimmed them into quarters already, so that they would be all ready. Otherwise it'd take me forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down along, I want it to be right along the edge of my window. So let me see here, move this up. And I tried to cut two longer, so I'm making sure I have the longer pieces. We're just gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna get it fairly close to my window without going into the window, if that makes sense. And then I'm gonna peel this off because I want it to be 2 times as thick, so I've cut enough pieces to make it thicker. And then I'm just gonna pop that on top of that one. And I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna do the opposite side. So again, you want it to be next to the window, but not inside where you'll be able to see it. And smush it down. And we'll do these ones, and these again, make sure they're right next to the window. And I got this one just a little bit too big, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it off just a little bit. But you want the little pieces to be touching, so don't trim it so much that they don't connect, because otherwise if they don't connect, then your shaker stuff is going to fall out. So then we'll add this one on top. And again, I got a little bit too big. And give it a little trimming. That was pretty close for measuring. But this foam tape on a roll is awesome for shaker cards, because you can just cut it off. You don't have to sit there and pick off a million little backs of those pop dots. It's a little expensive when you first, whoops, gotta take the tape off, Heather. The backing so it'll stick. Like so. But anyway, the tape's a little bit expensive when you first buy it, but if you're going to be making a lot of shaker cards, it's worth it. And I've had this roll for a long time, so it's very handy. Okay, so we got all our parts on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this anti-powder tool that you use for embossing, and I'm going to go around the edges right here, just on the inside, so that it kind of removes the sticky from the inside of the tape in case there's a little bit exposed, so that it won't, my shaker bits will not stick. And it will help too. I'm going to kind of wipe a little bit in here because it will kind of help with the stain. The little sequins always seem to have static cling on them, and so it helps them so they don't just stick to that. Okay, then I've got my little shaker stuff here. I'm just going to dump that in there. You're going to get yours in a little packet. So you're going to want to divide that up into 3 little packages or 3 sections, so you'll have enough. And it doesn't take as much as you would think. I always end up having way more than I needed. And so this time I used a little bit less because I want it to be able to shake around in there and not be quite so bulky. At least not take up the entire card. And then we're going to remove this stuff. And be careful, you don't want your shaker stuff to spill out. And then you're going to take your little guy and you're going to put him right on. I'm trying to see if I got him straight. Kind of hard to see with the camera above my head. Okay, I'm going to go like that, and then you're going to give him a little mush so he smushes down. And let's see how close I got. Oh, I got so close. So, here's my hint. You may want to just trim a little bit of your guy before you put him on, so he's a little bit smaller, because I made him exactly the same size, a piece exactly the same size as the front of the little window thing. So you may want to make him just a little bit smaller, or you can do like I did and you can trim him off after you get him all stuck together. So there you have him like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, we'll get rid of this stuff I cut off. We're going to put some tape runner on the back of him. And we're going to put him on here. So he's going to go like this. We'll give him a little pat. And then we got this stuff. So we've got a little cinnamon here. This comes in the kit. You don't get the stamp that made the cinnamon. I think it's called Jolly Christmas. It's from CC Designs. If I can find it, I'll link it down below, but I think that it's maybe retired. I couldn't find it. I'll have to look somewhere. I'm unsure. But if I can find it, I'll link it down below. Or if not, I have a couple of still cute little Christmas cinnamons in the store that are still 50% off. So if you want to grab those, make sure to head over to the store and grab those. Okay, then let's do this giant snowflake. I'm going to do him up here in the corner. These are really pretty snowflakes. So I think these were my favorite things snowflakes. I'll list these down below too in the description box. I can't remember right now what they were. I know I don't have them in the store anymore, but I'll send you over to my favorite things if you want to pick these up. And this one I put onto the acetate. And these little snowflakes have all these little holes in them. I didn't pop those out. So you're going to have to, when you get your kit, you're going to have to remove all those little dots yourself. I know, I'm lazy. What can I say? It would take me forever to poke all those out. This one, we're just going to put this over here, like that. And we'll get that all smushed in, then just let it dry, and then you've got a little shaker card. Isn't he cute? Adorable. So there he is, our Christmas elf, all colored and done up. If you want this kit, make sure to hit the link down below because he's super cute. He probably won't last that long, so you're going to want to hurry. Don't wait. If you have a question, leave me a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to the subscription button so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.